Hello, and welcome to a Vice City Stories 100% Speedrun tutorial. This is a very complicated tutorial. Now, there are worse categories, sure. This is, however, one of the longest main category runs in the entire GTA series. Not necessarily, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the hardest. Now, before even thinking about doing 100%, don't make the mistake I did. I would recommend having both a solid background and no major glitches and any percent. A lot of missions in this game, like especially at the beginning, are almost exactly the same as no major glitches. So it would be helpful to know that. Second thing is any percent, you can get used to working with all mission 0 a lot. Now, I don't think it's really necessary to do collectible runs. In my opinion, I honestly found it easier to do 100% than learning collectible runs, because then I learned all the collectible locations, but it may be beneficial. Now, again, it won't be in the same order. Another thing is, as typical with most 100% runs, the routes are going to be different. VTS isn't as different as, say, Vice City. Like, the route changes for, like, every person. Vice City Stories isn't that different. My route that I'll be showing off today is not that different from the one that's posted. Most of the differences are just going to be little collectible things. There's no major glitches that I'm aware of that aren't in my route. Now this is, I recently updated my route, so I'm crossing my fingers no collectibles are missing. I went through and counted, I'm pretty sure I have all of them. But at the end, if I've noticed I've missed a collectible, I'll go back and show where it's supposed to be at. Now this is going to be obviously split up into many videos of varying lengths, just depending on when I have time. I want to get this done probably within a week. Now, this is a live tutorial, so mistakes may be made. This is also being live streamed on my Twitch channel. So I have my chat open and they can correct me if I say something incorrect at any point. So that may happen, I don't know. I am starting to lose my voice a little bit, so I'm going to try and push through as much as I can, but I don't have any of my chat or live split or notes on my screen, but I've got them all open on a secondary monitor. So I may be interacting with chat a little bit during this tutorial as well, but I'll keep it fairly minimal, especially when I'm actually explaining stuff. No, Speedy, I do not use the 100% checklist program. The checklist is all in my brain. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Most of these first several missions are just NMG with only a couple extra things. But I will explain it as much as I can. Even if you haven't done NMG, I'll try my best to explain it. Alright, let's go ahead and start. Well, first, let me talk about a few things you should know. First off, your controls. Now, anyone who's done NMG or any percent knows that a lot of times it is beneficial to use setup 2 for looking behind and being able to turn while driving, useful for missions such as From Zero to Hero, Truck Stop, things like that. So, of course, since this is a live tutorial, you know, major things may happen, like a mission failed or things like that. But I do think in tutorials it is beneficial to see mission fails sometimes, to see consequences when something else out of the ordinary may happen. Now, I will utilize save states occasionally, so we're not trying to set up like insta passes and things like that over and over again. Just so that you're aware. This isn't me using a video and explaining how it goes along, but I think it might be beneficial to actually be playing along. I'm going to turn on my subtitles just so it's a little easier. Another thing is, I'm not going to explain how on Mission 0 or insta-passing or duping works, because that is something I'd expect any 100% runner to know how to do, at least know the gist of it. I'll probably explain how to get an On Mission 0 Rampage, or if we use any other versions of On Mission 0, which we do. It's not just Rampages like it is in any percent, but let's go ahead and get started, actually. So, first mission, as you all know, is Soldier. Pretty standard, nothing changed about it. You need to get an N16, preferably right away. So we're going to look behind. We want to try and get 2. Now the second one we don't have to get till later. Ooh. A little bit of lag there. So we have 2 clips of it. That should be enough. This is just a bit of safety. That's all it is. So we're just going to do the rest of the mission as normal. So obviously, I don't want to reset there in a tutorial, but not getting those 2 clips right away, I would have reset. Now, technically, I think you can get by with 1 clip, but it's very tight. Because not only do we have to use it for the next 2 missions, we also need to get a balloon with it. So, another thing, as you should have... Ooh. Oh my god. I died there. That'd be very comedic. Another thing you should notice, we're not using the Japanese version. Now, we are using specifically the US version, not the EU version. The EU version tends to have problems with some of the strats we do later on. Now, some argue that it works fine. I have not found it to work fine. That's the mission done. So, now normally you just spin your truck around here, but because we got shot a lot, because again, this is the US version, so we can actually take damage in that intro mission. We can go ahead and pick up health there, and immediately start the next mission, which is, of course, cleaning house. So this is where we're finally actually going to immediately deviate from the NMG or any percent, or well, I guess we've already deviated from any percent. We're deviating from NMG here. Technically, we could get an M16 there if we need it as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our first USJ, Unique Stunt Jump. And it's right here at the end of the wooden bridge. So we're going to spin around right at the end of the wooden bridge, go as fast as we can up the sand ramp. That was as fast as we could. And that's the unique jump complete. Whenever it's still slow once you've hit the ground, that means you've completed the jump. It'll instantly fail once you hit the ground if you fail the jump, which isn't how all the games work. So now we're just going to take this alternative route. A lot of things in Hundo, like driving lines, are debatable. Some argue because it hasn't been done as much as any percent or NMG. Now we're just gonna go ahead and jump out here. Rest of the mission is just like no major glitches. Okay, I'm 16 out, as per usual. And just make your way on. Ooh. There's nothing else deviating from NMG until the end of the mission. So here, pull out M16, shoot both of them. Oh, don't get bumped by a head. And that's that. And now, try and find a good car. I'm just gonna take the Saber here, I think. Probably the best bet. I don't really want, was that Admiral? Again, use your intuition on what's best. So now we're just gonna make our way back. So there will be no cuts, no, well, I don't think I'm gonna have any editing, and just have to edit out like copyrighted music, but the one place, but this car is very slidey. This is the Stallion of Vice City Stories. The only place I know that has copyright issues is during Purple Haze. I know Cleaning House, a little radio has some music, but I've never seen or personally had any copyright issues with it. So we're just gonna go ahead and ram up against this. And it didn't work. Cool. So we'll just run our way there. Again, an 8% and an MG runner should know all about this little thing. So after this mission, we're going to do something a little different. This is why we need the M16 right away. So we're going to pull out our M16 and we're going to hop on the Street Fighter here. We're going to immediately drive between the nurse barracks and this barracks. Park up here, and there's a balloon up here we're going to shoot. Just one shot with the M16, has to be with the M16, while this pager's going on. So now conduct unbecoming is unlocked, and we don't have time to grab M16 like NMG does. Now once again, just like normal, the second half of this mission does change. We're just gonna make our way over there as we normally do. So what's going to happen, this is where we're going to collect our first car for the Civil Asset Forfeiture Impound, or CAFE, as I commonly refer to it. That's a me thing, I don't think everyone does that. Drive in this marker here, make sure you have your M16 ready before getting in this car. So this is a Stinger, we're going to actually ditch the Stinger halfway through the mission. Pull up, spin the car, talking to Mary.
Do you know Mary?
Or that's not Mary, that's, I don't know who she is, to be honest with you. But we're just gonna drive. It's a usually good idea to drive here in the grass as long as you don't hit the trees, because that means minimal traffic. And sometimes it is faster, you can cut through some bobbing and weaving of the roads. We're gonna immediately go here, park up, and shoot both the guys. Alright, so now what's different from NMG here is we're gonna actually get back in the Stinger instead of getting in the Banshee as you normally would.
Take it easy, muscles.
And we're gonna take a left out of the place, and we're gonna drive over just down the road a little bit to this Cheetah, and this is what we're gonna use. This Cheetah is a car we need way later. So we're gonna go get it now. Because the man CAFE does not unlock until a little after the start of Act 2. After the audition. Hello, we're going this way. start driving straight to my garage. And after the mission.
You
Ooh.
dumb idiot!
Now the cheetah can be a little annoying to drive, can be a little bouncy, just like the Banshee. So do be careful, because you don't want to have to go back and get another one. And again, you don't want to lose this, so don't drive straight into the marker. Spin your car, place it here, again, and MG shots. Just go ahead, get back in the car. I want to just go ahead and finish the mission. Ooh. So here, after the mission, instead of just driving straight to Phil's, we're going to go ahead and park it here in the left corner. This will help for garage management later. And now go ahead and just find any random car. It doesn't really matter, you're not going far, so I'm just going to take this Admiral here. We're just driving right down to Phil's.
Let's go!
Now, keep in mind I am playing on emulator, but all of this should work the same for real hardware.
Vic, we're gonna drive by on some cholo. I know right where we can pick up the trail.
Remember, stay on the left side of the road here.
But they're organized. I can't compete, man. You know, this used to be a fine country.
We'll just go ahead and park up in here. Get familiar with the police station. You might be here a few times throughout the run. I don't think we do any purposeful getting busted, but we do a lot of death warps. Mostly to this hospital, actually. Most of them come here because of coffee. We death warp after coffee, exporting a car a lot.
Goddamn cholos, who do they think they are? Messing with me? Bill bitch killer Cassidy? Yeehaw! This is some fancy driving. We're gonna need to get my car fixed up, Vic.
So once you kill the cholo,
So good.
the what's he called? One of the cholo guys. Just go ahead, back up into the garage here. Not always super easy to back up into the garage quickly, but
Boy, she is looking like a
so
daisy.
now I know here in some routes this mission's a little different. In some routes they do a stunt jump here. I don't personally, but again, that's the beauty of Hundo routes. There can be some deviation. They usually do this stunt jump here to our left. It is possible to do with this car. A Jax can. That's definitely something that could not happen. He is too active.
You're a fine wing.
I want to go on a shakedown again, as normal. Grabbing the steady shotgun, as per normal. So, this mission is nothing special. There's no change, actually, for the next few missions. It's all just as normal.
I have to remind them of their obligations if they don't, but mostly I just mind my own business. You mind yours, pal. Okay, we're here.
I did.
Shoot the two guys, run inside.
Please, I can't afford. Show me you're the man.
Try and get some pistol ammo. It'll be helpful later on.
You done real good,
Now, after this mission, again, is another possible route deviation. Fairly recently, in some routes, I think actually the main route posted on the Speedrun.com page, some people do extortion side mission on the East Island, but I don't. So that means it's a change in Rampage, change in Empires, which means we end up doing a Rampage after this mission. Oh, I wasted a shot there.
Okay, up.
Random BF or kind of that engine sound you may have heard, that's just due to, that's an emulator issue, and you can fix that by pausing and unpausing. That had nothing to do with the actual mission. So now we're going to go ahead, drive on to the next Murdy mission. Which is Fear the Repo. Oh, already got stuck. That just happens sometimes. Not always your fault. Sometimes it is, though. This mission's identical to normal. The next several missions is identical. Nope, there's another emulator audio bug issue.
Hey! Son of a bitch, that's my car!
Don't take it personally, pal.
Oh, try not to hit anyone. You know, standard stuff. Nothing. We're just gonna take the Admiral here again because we have no other real good cars. Normally, you do want to take a bike here if it's spawned, but don't take your own bike. I'm just gonna go ahead and drive through the trailer park here, cut through.
Do you want me? I paid Marty off weeks ago, man.
Woo! Alright. Now we're just gonna get our Sanchez and move on with our day. Oh, menstruating nipple. Now up here, there's a chance to get armor. Feel free to get armor if you would like, but you don't necessarily need it. Now, that is one reason why it's nice to be on the US version occasionally in Hundo. It's not always nice.
What the hell are you doing? Meet your face.
Is
I'm gonna go see my cousin in
that means getting armor for like safety isn't as bad because 90% energy you have Japanese version, which decreases how much damage you take by like it's like 1/3 damage you take. I think. Whoa, okay. A little chaotic. So having armor doesn't mean that you like take forever to death warp like you do in Japanese versions. Because you do a lot of death warps in this run. Lot. Not including the ones that happen unintentionally. I take this blister. Ballista is really bad in VCS, my goodness. So I think this is where we'll leave it for today. I'm trying to make these videos smaller chunks for now because I don't always have time. So I do want these to be smaller chunks. It'll make it easier to watch as well, and I'll label it in the, you should see in the title of the video, Soldier to through Feather Repo. But that's the end of the first episode. And good luck on your endeavors with this.